What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Table Talk, where our discussions go beyond the stack. Join us as we navigate the intricacies of CEDH. Whether you're a seasoned planeswalker or a new recruit, Table Talk is your hub for CEDH. We got my boy Kevin Ruck over here joining us today. We also have someone else. You don't see their camera, but my boy Venny as well. You'll be hearing from him in a little bit. So as you guys are aware, there's been a bit of drama going on in Twitter today, and we're kind of here to set the record straight, get out as many of the facts as we can, because a lot of the footage was regarding us. Everybody here good with that? Everybody cool, right?
Not really good about. We have to talk about this situation.
It does have to be addressed, unfortunately.
It has to be addressed.
All right, so Venny, if you want to kick us off and start running us through some of these questions that have been asked by the community for us to address.
Yeah, sure thing. So one of the first ones I have is, where did the footage originally come from?
I'll let Ruck start this one off, and then I'll jump in about halfway through. But if you want to start us off there, Rucky.
So I guess at the beginning is as good a time to start as any. We got a new recruit, or if you will, or a new member to the WreckRoom, and it happened to be a high-profile player. But so we took him on. We figured we'd shoot the shit and play a couple games with him. He was playing the deck that I play. A deck that I love. I've been playing for a long time. I put it away for a while, but I brought it back out recently. Actually, after I did see it, kind of motivated me to come grab it again. But I figured I'd put mine up against his, and so the first game, I seen something kind of fishy with the shuffling tactics. So I was looking at his hand. I mean, it was obvious on the screen, and just watched picking little cards and putting them on that I could see. As I was DMing another person in the rec room, I got a DM from him right away saying, I just watched him put a demonic tutor on top of his deck, or a vampiric tutor. And I was literally about to DM him and say, I just seen him put a demonic tutor on top of his deck. So it was funny because I was first in turn order. Shrek, who was the other guy, was second, and the other dude was in third. It gets to Shrek's turn, and he casts the Gitaxian Probe, and we see both of the cards we seen put on top of his deck. So I immediately I told Shrek, we gotta get Josh in here to record a game. So this is when we started blowing Josh up. Shrek was being kind of mean, and I was trying to keep him calm so we could get some footage. Because it's more valuable information when we're all in the same boat, dude. We want to play the game. We don't want to waste our time losing a game that we can't win, or the odds
are set up to where we have less of a chance.
Yeah, the odds are stacked. I mean, it obviously it didn't happen. I ended up winning that first game, but it just caused it was a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So we got Josh in here, and that's when he started recording games.
Yeah, so that's pretty much when I jumped in. So I was already in the lobby. I was watching on a secondary monitor while I was doing some shit on my main monitor. Just have you guys on in the background like I typically do, shooting shit, talking with the boys and stuff like that. Not necessarily paying attention to what was going on with the game. And then in the span of like 5 minutes, I was getting DMs from Shrek every like 30 seconds. Like, yo, you need to start recording. Yo, this guy is cheating. He's shuffling, manipulating, blah, blah, blah. So after a while, I look over at the Discord, and I'm like, oh, I got a bunch of DMs. Look at it, read it, and click. I'm like, oh, okay, shit, fair enough. So I start recording, thinking nothing of it. Continue doing what I was doing, muted microphone, not saying anything into the game. Then the game is over and done with. I didn't see anything nefarious in that game. We still have footage for that game. There's nothing there. I started recording late because I hopped in late, theoretically. Like, I jumped into the recording late.
And when you jump into the server, it says that you have clipping or whatever.
Yeah, somebody has clipping enabled. Yeah.
I was using an external I use an external software to record, so that's typically not an issue. Ruckus.
Well, it's still like
I didn't even know he. Yeah.
And that that will still like
You see, I didn't
a
even
warning to like someone
Yeah.
that would be cheating. And
I
to
didn't
be like,
even
oh,
know he was in here though.
But anyway,
I was when I figured out he had the recording. I was like, Josh, man, you just missed all those games. He's like, no, boy, I was recording all of
Yeah.
those.
So then the fourth game is the game that I was actually participating in, where the footage that's kind of gone viral on Twitter a little bit is the footage at mention here. I recorded that because of all of the allegations. Literally that day, everything previously leading up to that day was going down. So in that game, you fully see him just straight up reach under his desk, grab the dockside, not the dockside, the saw in half, put it into his hand. And conveniently enough, it was the card that he needed to get him into the advantageous position to win, because he was pretty much fucked throughout that entire game. I made sure to stop. Yet again, I've played against Ruckus's Corvold a couple of times. I know it's a goddamn powerful deck. I wanted to brew it myself. So you try to stop the Corvold or the docksides from coming out. So I countered his docksides. We were pinging him down. We were doing as much as we could. But then for him to just, after a dockside is, I think he reanimated it or something. After that happens, he then miraculously finds the perfect card after doing a land tutor and saying how fucked he is, because he was able to draw a card from Corvold and make it look like, oh, yep, nope, that's what I drew, but it wasn't. And, like, that's the disgusting part about this, man. And, like, we went into multiple discussions about this earlier, and that's the worst part, is, like, a lot of the guys in the rec room, we're all dads, dude. At least, like, a good chunk of us, 80% of us, we don't need our time wasted. Because
my kid's about to wake up from a nap right now.
Yeah, exactly,
we gotta
right?
Get this thing going, man.
Like, that's the thing.
No,
It's like,
for
we're not here
sure.
to just, like, yeah, cheating is one thing, but, like, you're not just cheating, you're robbing us of our time, like, our very little free time. And this is,
This is literally how I want to spend my free time.
Yeah.
I built this server to spend my free time having good games of Magic.
Exactly.
With good people,
with good people, and that's the whole point of it. Is good games of Magic with good people.
We're rough, we're gruff, we're
rough around the edges, and like that's like
we're old men, most of us. I mean, I'm almost 40 years old,
but we are inclusive, like
Yeah,
all
for sure.
around, and we just want to have a good time. And then someone comes in and just rips that from us, just so blatantly, is so disrespectful. It's
a hard pill to swallow sometimes, man. 'Cause we get paid for our time most of the time, and the time
exactly.
we don't get paid for, we want to use it to have fun and chill with the boys and shoot the shit. And
Exactly.
but it is
when that stuff starts happening, like it makes you not want to play. And this is like my favorite game. This is like my favorite hobby, and like just there's so much to it. It takes up a lot of but once that starts happening, it just takes it all away.
Exactly.
Like, and
I'm not even in the mood.
man.
It's time to
And
get off,
like straight up, that is how this server started, was to make sure we weren't playing against people online being nefarious in some sort of way, as whether it be crappy Moxfield setups and trying to scam that way, or
spite plays and
and
I mean, even to be
game
honest,
mannerism.
I came into the rec room to get away from, like, to try to actually learn how to play CEDH.
Mm-hmm.
With good players. I wasn't much of a CEDH player when I came.
I started the rec room when I started playing CEDH.
But
we've been around for a year and a half. But I've been playing Magic for a very long time.
Yeah.
Brought it into Commander and just wanted to take it out and run with it, and here we are. But we were trying to escape the players that we were meeting in public lobbies or on Reddit posts or whatever, just having a bad time. But on some of those, we met some great people, and that's where we started. That's how we started, was just meeting up with people and really grinding through and finding who was good to play with, and
it was just a good time to be around.
Have a good time, and it has built an entire community. And I hate for something to come in and just rip the soul out of it and like make people not want to play, make people not want to interact, people not want to even just hang out. Like that's like my favorite thing about this thing. It's like a bar almost. Like there's people just hanging out all the time. Like
not even playing Magic.
For reference, like we play games in the server and we stream them to the other spectators in the server that want to watch and hang out, whether they're at work, whether they're just not in the mood to play, whether they don't have their gear with them. We've had people take their gear with them and their Magic cards on a cruise to make sure that he didn't miss out on any time playing with us. Like,
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
With his wife.
Yeah.
Like,
that's like what I'm talking about, is the camaraderie here is
it's more
a
than
whole
just
level.
Magic.
It's so much more than just Magic. And to have the nasty come in, it really just takes a chunk out of the whole thing. Like that was
that
so
mood for
beautiful.
the mood for that day is gone.
Yeah.
It's all negativity from now because everybody's about it.
That takes so much from me. It's so much more, even if it's just a casual game. There's nothing on the line. But this is where we haven't mentioned.
So we have more questions from the community. Venny, I guess it's perfect time to bring up next question.
Yeah, definitely. Just to interject on that last point, I have been here for a handful of days, and every interaction I've ever had with anyone in this Discord has been absolutely positive, and I've been treated with nothing other than complete face value respect, and honestly, I completely understand the vibe that you're going here. Next question. So the main question I think that people want to be addressed, and the main question I thought was probably one of the most popular ones floating around on the internet was there anything at stake? And also, does that really matter?
So there's I've seen this a few times on Twitter. It's like a bunch of people were saying this was just a casual pickup game and stuff like that. Mind you, I didn't start it. This was going on before that. I didn't help with that initially. I completely forgot it was a Headband game. So
you had the Headband.
Yeah,
you had it.
So in case you guys are unaware, so our Headband games in the Rec Room are like regular League matches, but we treat them very seriously. Like they're a game. It's a King of the Hill essentially, where the players battle for points, and whoever has the headband is the headband guy, right? He has the crown, and if he loses it, moves on to the person that beat him. You accrue points at the end of the month. The top 4 with the most points play for the prize, whatever the prize is. The prize is typically ran by the community. Whatever we decide to throw up is what's up for stake. That being said, there was something at stake. Even if there wasn't even if the prize was like the headband wasn't at stake, the fact that all of our time is worth something as well. I think
that's so much feeling that we were just explaining.
Exactly. I think that all of those were also at stake. So I don't think that just because there was a prize or wasn't a prize was on the line is the thing that matters here. The fact is, like, and at the end of the day, I hope that this is a learning.
Make it worse?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you would think it would
make it even worse. Like, what? Why waste the time? Is it practice time for you for your tournaments to practice on us noobs or something?
And then you like be like, oh man, well this deck is beating me all the time. Like I've got to morph my deck to at least be able to handle this or be attacking this. And then you go and play, and you don't have a single problem with that deck. It's just a pilot that was manipulating.
Seems to get everything it needs. I mean, cheating has always been, like everybody in the Rec Room will tell you. I'm the worst. I have the worst attitude towards cheating. I cannot stand it. I cannot. I've every one of the cheaters caught in this place, besides 1 or 2, I've been a part of looking at. I watch, because like they're like Kevin and Josh are both saying, my time is really important. If I'm not trying to get a couple dollars at work, I'm at home and trying to cook dinner, or I'm washing clothes, or making sure the kids are all right, getting their medicine, and if I got a game time set out so I can play a little bit, I want to be able to play with a bunch of good guys,
Exactly.
But nah. That's why it so bothers me so much. And before anything else gets said, we also had some shit talked about how weird. It's crucifixion. This would have never gone public, ever. We've caught cheaters.
Yeah.
We've caught them a lot. There's a lot of people that have been banned from the Rec Room for cheating, and none of it has gone public other than the 2 that we are trying to save the rest of our community from. The 2 that have been participating in pay-to-play tournaments, chaos tournaments, to be exact, for the only 2 that have ever gone public or anywhere outside of the Rec Room. It has been to chaos to save him and his patrons, or whoever's participating in all of their hard-earned money, so that they can come down and play games and compete at the highest level to win something, to feel good about themselves, you know?
Exactly.
It's not just about us.
No, like Ruckus said, this was never a way to chase clout or anything like that. From the get-go, this was never meant to go public. It got leaked onto Twitter. Regardless of who leaked it or how it got leaked, that's how it got out there. I guess I got to be a little more strict on who I give footage to and who I don't give footage to. Maybe that was on my end. But regardless of the fact, it made its way out there. But that wasn't on our end, and we had no intent of ever doing that. At least from the discussion I had with Ruck and Kev, I'm pretty sure that was the Rec Room's intent. We were just going to do a quiet ban and move on with it, like we've done with almost everybody else, right, Kev?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't been playing Magic outside of the Rec Room server for like the last 6 months. So the way I've been dealing with bans there is, yes, just like it's a private server. You have to get an invite in, and we're still under 500 members, so it's noticeable still if someone wouldn't do whatever or try to get a new name and get somebody to invite them in or whatever. We've had a couple of cases of that too. That's sad. But
now that
we're
being
a community,
said,
and we
the
know
one thing I
everybody
do
here.
want to let the record know for sure, with the quiet banning and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that it's just we do an in-house ban and that's it and it's over and no one. No. We still do go and reach out to other people and other communities and let them be aware in case something were to come up. Like there have been many of times where we've done silent bans in the Rec Room, and I've seen these players also active in Chaos. So I will go out of my way to message people in Chaos specifically and be like, listen, just so you know, I'm not saying that they are cheating in here. They have been recently banned from Rec Room because of X, Y, and Z, and I'll provide them the footage if need be or whatever. And then they can do with that information whatever they want to do. But it's never like it's under lock and key or anything like that. We are willing to give that information to communities that ask for it. Or in some cases, because I'm so tightly represented by the Rec Room and Chaos, I kind of work on both ends of the field and talk to both communities, so I can dip my toes in both ends of the ends of the blood in that regard. So that's what we do. And it's not like it's just a silent ban and no one's ever going to hear of it again. No, like your name is still going to be known throughout the communities that like this guy is a cheater. So don't just try to come into our community specifically and fuck with us because you think you're going to get away with it. That's not, at the end of the day, that's just not how this shit works.
And it's like, it almost felt like just trying to take advantage of the little guy. Like we're not well known, we're not popular. And they come in and they don't see any recognizable names or anything.
Online.
Yeah, exactly.
Online. There are some very, very recognizable names in there, but I'm just saying, like, the people playing at the time, or whatever, may not have some record or any record or be known, but they play with us every day.
So they're known to us.
Yeah, and it's like
that matters.
Coming in and thinking you can just take advantage of them, like it's like you're like trying to call us stupid or something. Like,
yeah, we're all playing competitive CEDH, man. Yeah, none of us are dumb.
And exactly. Yeah, but to the point, yes, there was something online. No matter what, even if it wasn't monetized value. Or whatever, it was our time and morale of the community is like taken every time that happens. Like every feel bad moment, like every game lost due to
100%. Anything like that. What else do we got there? Vinny?
one of the other questions which I thought was really important that we address and when we understand in order to try and, you know, get the actual facts out there, which was not on the list, but you've already answered it anyway, was that this moment in time, as you've mentioned, the footage was put online into public domain from a third party. That is where it'll stay for the time being, okay? Unless you guys feel the need to move any forward with that. So we'll just, I thought it's really important to clarify that it seems to me like it wasn't by design. It was completely third party, and me not having any skin in the game, I am extremely confident in the fact that saying that it was definitely third party.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we're not the hit squad, dude. I mean,
Exactly.
It's never who we've
we
been.
we are, like we said earlier, we're old men, a lot of us, you know. It's just that we're not looking to out anybody and take their reputation from them or anything like that. That's not where we're getting at. This is a lifestyle for some people. I mean, but it's the way they make money. It's the way they get their extra funds on the weekends. They're just really good at playing the game. But when you work so hard to get to a place like that, and you're actually playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, the way it's designed to be played, whether you're exploiting the rules within the bounds of the rules or not, it's just it's how you play the game. And people work a long time. They spend a lot of hours playing this thing to get their certain play style dialed in to where it's competitive enough to compete at the highest level. And it's not fair to those people. It's not fair to them, especially if they save up their money to get into these tournaments, man. 'Cause sometimes $30 to somebody, 35, 40, 50, 60, $100, it's not cheap.
No, yeah.
And they practice and they spend hours and they do reps and they grind and they grind and they grind and they get ready. And then just to know that somebody's going to come in here and cheat them out of their chance at the top, or make it so hard for them that it's not even worth playing anymore.
And like what Ruckus is saying might sound like an over exaggeration, but I genuinely know people that want to participate in these tournaments that set aside $5 every 2 weeks so that way they can make it in a month and a half, 2 months time.
And then they sit in here and then they grind. They grind games and
the entire time
prep with us, and they get different. They try to get different pods, and I remember a couple of us, Deke and Biggs, and they were getting ready for a big IRL tournament. They came in here and they ground their asses off.
That was awesome.
It was awesome, man.
And it's what we all do. I do it for my chaos preps. Like everybody does it. Like it's a good, honestly. And we're not, at the end of the day, this isn't like a publicity thing, but if you are trying to get reps in and with a varying variety of decks, WreckRoom is the spot. At the end of the day, we have too many different members that have such different play styles and different ways of thinking and shit like that. Deck brewing as well. Like it is the spot, and that's why it's my daily, right? And it has been for
different flavors of politics and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you're gonna get a taste the rainbow over here, literally.
Don't be.
It's been well over a year, Josh. It's like 2 months away from or 3 months away from 2 years.
For me? Oh, there you go.
No, for the WreckRoom.
No, for like just with Josh in general too. Like I had like a memory pop up on friggin' social media that was a year ago. That was you mailing me something, and it was it was a saw and a half. What do you know? It was a saw and a half. Holy shit!
Wow, flavor. That's spice right there.
That's wow, serendipitous.
That's worth all the views, right?
But that was months after we'd already been gaming. So we've got to be right there at the 2 year mark almost. It's
pretty close, if not. But like, that's what I mean. Is like it's the hub though. Like at least it's my hub, and I don't want anybody fucking. I know it's a kind of like an expression. I don't want your muddy ass shoes stomping around in my house, and that's kind of how I feel with cheaters here. I don't want your muddy ass shoes stomping around in my house, dude. At the end of the day, if you're gonna cheat, fucking go cheat. Like you're not doing it in my server, period.
I mean, go to a pub game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna catch you.
Well,
we're inviting all you guys to come get some good games. And if you're playing with me, I'm going to catch you cheating.
Is there any other questions, Benny? I know we sent you a few.
Yeah. Yeah, so the next one, which I think is important to establish, is has this gone beyond just the rec room into other tourneys?
So initially, I didn't want to touch up on this topic, but since it's been confirmed, we can say with 100% confirmation, this goes beyond just a rec room incident. This is something that has happened in at least one Chaos tournament, one Chaos sanctioned event, which is unfortunate. And like Rex said, man, like at the end of the day, that's the worst part about this is like you're robbing people of their hard-earned dollars who have not only just spent their hard-earned dollars on this, they've also grinded dozens, if not hundreds of hours to try and perfect their game to get into this spot to begin with, to even try this opportunity and to throw it out the window.
Some of them are kids, man.
Yeah.
Some of them are kids, dude. They're stealing money from kids. They're
literally like stealing money from freaking like young,
save up their allowance
young,
for a month,
yeah.
dude. You know, don't eat no cool chips at school. Don't get no drinks. They're drinking out of the water fountain so they can play this game online with us. And us grown men are taking money.
It's disgusting. But yeah, so it has gone beyond just our little Discord server, unfortunately.
Now, I imagine it now we're sort of limited to what can be said about that, so we'll move on.
Yeah, pretty much anything that has been said, you guys can find over at Chaos Twitter. Links to all of this shit will be in the description. If not in the description, it'll be in the comments.
Brilliant. The next two I'm going to throw in together because I feel like it's just a perfect combination. So, what did we do to fix the situation? And what other precautions and measurements are we putting in place to prevent this from being an issue moving forward?
I mean, we're always just looking out for it. Like it's like when you smell fish, you let someone in the higher ranks know, and if you let a spectator know or something, just you record the game yourself if you have the equipment, and you don't we're not like calling people out like like
no,
like,
that's
and
not
this
how
is
you do it.
absolutely blatant. Like we gotta have like that proof, and like you gotta know how to let a cheater cheat, you know, like,
and just understand the game you're playing at that point.
Yeah, part of the discussions we were having this morning was like, if you get footage one time, yeah, that's cool, but that's only one time. What you need is you need to collect an assortment of footage across multiple games,
and it turns into a job. It turns into a freaking job where you're like, and you don't feel good about the games that you're playing, and you're having to pay attention to something way more than what you normally would. Like, I love it in like when I can have like a little something that I'm doing over here, like aside from the game, and still be able to be back and forth and trustworthy with everybody, and like make sure that everything's going all right. To where like now I have to, my ADHD ass has to like sit here and watch their screen like the whole time I'm doing my stuff. Like the whole time, like I have to have like one eye on the screen and one eye on like my board state, and it's I don't want this to be a job. Like I created this place to like be a gathering for
homies,
like friends. It was literally less than 10 people for like the first like 2 months. Like
it was a pod and a half,
and it just blossomed by like word of mouth and just growth, and turned into this giant community. And like it is a job now, but it's like I don't want it to be a job. It was like my like the dream job type feeling, you know. It's just like the like I if you don't feel like if you're having fun, you're not like working. Like if it didn't never felt like work. Like it is work, but it like never felt like it until those extreme stress moments, and like the community just like turns into like it just changes the whole vibe of everything. And
so some of the other things, sorry, you go, Recky.
So so I don't know that anybody needs to take extra precautions. I guess recording videos is, I believe, is always good for anybody to do. If you have the ability to record a video, record yourself playing. I mean, it's good to look back at the mistakes you've made. It's good to look back and listen to some of the politics and some of the people calling you out on bad moves, and then learn from that shit anyway. I don't think you have to do anything different. The only thing I ever do anyway is try to take a look at pretty much somebody's psychology. When I knew for a fact there was something wrong with dude when he came in, just not
in a personal sense.
Not a personal sense. Not that he had, I have felt something going on wrong with him in his life or anything like that. Just the fact that his persona and how he put himself off had me looking at my screen like, okay, like that. It's a little over the top-ish. So I'm already paying attention anyway, because first of all, I figured out, dude, he won a tournament and he's playing my favorite deck, and I'm like, yeah, I want to check this out. Let me see if I can beat him. And immediately,
if not, like, let me see if I can take some advice or something.
Yeah.
But
you know me, man. I'm gonna keep it 1,000, dude. I'm a competitor 100% of the time. So that was my idea. I was like, man, I feel like I'm a good corporal pilot. Maybe I come in here and see what he's got, and it's nothing like I want to beat this guy up, anything like that. I want to compete with the best people out there, I want to play the best game of CEDH every time I sit down at this table, and I want to play the best guys, even if I know they're better than me. I don't care. I do learn from those guys, and I can't even say that I didn't learn anything from this guy, because he did open my eyes to a couple of other things, and there was positive that came out of this situation. But at the end of the day, he's cheating, and I got a weird vibe off of it. So I'm looking the whole time. I'm just
intuition.
Yeah, my intuition, my Papa Bear came in, and I'm just looking, and it was almost immediate, and I had never heard anything about anybody ever cheating. I had
never heard of any like
intuition. I didn't even know this. I don't even know this guy won with Corvo. I heard, hey, the winner of the last Chaos tournament sitting in the server. I'm like, cool, let me go over there. I mean, this was not even that day. It was the day before, I want to say. And he was giving somebody a seminar on how to play Corvo. And I was like, man, okay, I'll catch him later, And I caught, and then very next day, this is what happened. And it was the very first game and the very first shuffle. And that's when my fucking alarm just went off. And after that, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna find out a way to get you, and that's what we did.
So I think as a whole, as part of the entire webcam magic community as a whole, I think there are a few things that we can definitely do to try and mitigate the cheating. We're never going to be able to fully stop it, right? Especially with the luxury of being able to do this at your home. Like, it's going to be endless ways of being able to cheat. With that being said, some of the ways that you can prevent cheating, is doing the Brazilian cut, presenting your deck in 3 piles and having someone pick the pile for you. But sometimes that is an issue because, like in the Chaos footage, you see that he shuffled, put a dockside in the middle of his deck, cut his deck, so that way that was in the second pile. You have to be aware. So, like Ruckus was saying, the other thing that you guys can do to try and mitigate this shit is recording your games. Whether it's like in the server just for fun fucking game, you suspect something, just hit the record button, man. Whether it's on
then push comes to shove, you got content.
Yeah, exactly.
You got recorded games that you can go study. You could post it for other people if you want.
Exactly.
But there's it's the best note taking there I've ever seen is
visuals,
visual audio, and it just
and it's not that within 5 minutes you can have everything set up and you are good to go. A couple clicks of a button and you'll never run into those kind of things again.
See, I don't even know how to do it, so right after this recording, I'm going to figure out how to do it. So I don't have to call anybody. I'll just hit the record button. I got that shit on speed dial.
But, those are some of the things that we can do. Also, having, more of your play area shown on webcam, if at all possible. If you can't, that's totally fine. Have a 2 camera set up. We were talking with Chaos earlier today. And that was one of the suggestions he brought up. He's like, well, if you don't like just not being completely set up right, holding your hand so that way it's under a webcam at all times. Just have a secondary camera set up. That way people can't say you're lap cheating because your hands are completely visible at all times, because even if you're sitting this far back, guess what? Your hand is still being seen. Right? Like, there are many ways that people can go about fixing this, but at the end of the day, especially when you're in tournaments, don't rely on other people to record your games for you. Do it yourself. There have been in too many games where it has been left up to me and one other person to record in a pot of 4. All 4 people should be recording. Period. That way, if one of the, because like honestly, if all 4 people are recording and the cheater records and everybody else submits their footage, and then they ask the cheater for his footage and he doesn't want to provide it, that's us on him, right?
And if it's only one of you, you can get a corruption in the file and you lose all your evidence. You see this, like I said before, this has happened a lot in the rec room, and it's actually made me upset with Kevin a couple times when he's like, well, we're just gonna have to see that, and I'm like, dude, I'm me. It's Ruckus, dude. I would
It's
never,
not. It never
I
was
know.
that.
I understand.
You
I
was like,
understand.
I needed.
You need it. Yeah, you
physical
need it.
concrete
And
proof.
in my head, it didn't compute at the time. I was like, oh, do you really believe that I would say something?
No, and like it's like, man, like
never.
I know you wouldn't accuse
Yeah,
anybody
I
of something
never.
like that they weren't doing. Like
Yeah.
that's like.
I mean, I might not like you. I might like you. It doesn't matter. Any of that, and none of that shit matters at all. If you're a good player, I can play with you, because even if I don't really like you, you know, there's a couple people around the rec room that I wouldn't hang out with if I was their friend. I mean, if I was around, you know, I'd hang out with a lot of these guys, but I still play with them because they're good players, dude. 100%. And I can't take that from them.
Nope.
And I don't have to like everybody, and I'm sure there's 25,000 people out there that don't like. I mean, there's probably more. They don't like.
And it's like, yeah, once the community gets so big, of course, there's going to be like people you enjoy, and some like circles aren't going to Venn diagram up with some other parts of it, you know, like
exactly.
There's going to be some like it's
I
not
say
going to
some
necessarily mean
always
bad
wild
blood,
shit, yeah,
but
I say
like
some wild shit some people can't take. But I mean,
and then yeah, and so like we're not for everybody.
No.
Like so, but if we were for everybody,
we wouldn't be for
it
us.
wouldn't be for us. Like yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mick.
Yeah, Sweeto, my boy.
My dog.
One last.
The best Tivit player. The best Tivit player in CDH. Just so you guys know.
Ain't no doubt. All right, what up, Ben? You said you got one last thing?
Just one last question just to finish things off, because, again, we can only speak about the rec room, the server that we're all collectively a part of, and we all, some more than others, have the, means to change stuff and be representatives of the Discord. There we go. We see Kevin on the screen there. If any player is suspecting that someone is cheating, where can they go for support?
In our Discord,
any of the
specifically?
In our Discord,
yes, specifically.
Just anybody in the higher up of roles.
Any of the daddy. Any of the
daddy.
If you're in the Discord, you'll know who the moderators are.
We're all really active.
We're some of the most active people in the server. But yeah, just look for the daddy list. Or just ask
red names, orange names.
Yeah, or just ask someone and they'll be able to direct you.
Or of course me.
Yeah.
Like.
Literally any of the three of us right here.
Right here, shoot a DM at any of us. Yeah.
And all your answers will be answered. All your questions will be answered.
If me and Josh
I have one thing I kind of want to ask you guys and get your guys' opinion or whatever. Why do you think they were cheating? Was it because they were intimidated by us, or did they thought they could fool us?
I don't want to speculate too much.
And not necessarily even this case, maybe in other cases as well.
General.
But in general, it's like.
So if you're talking about why do people cheat in WreckRoom specifically, I think because they think it's a private server that they're more likely to get away with it. The moderation isn't going to be nearly as good as big open servers with hundreds of moderators and shit like that. Not realizing
moderators and admins are not well known in the community.
Right.
So it's like
I think
it's a name I've never seen before. So
I think that's a part of it, right? And the thing is like we just said, a good chunk of the active players on the server are moderators. Like a solid 40, 50, if not 60% of the players that are playing every day are moderators. Period. So
we're tight knit, man. That's why we come.
Exactly.
That's why we're all
So,
here, you know.
and like the other thing is like even if we have people that are like pseudo mods that don't necessarily have this role, that are able to kind of fill in that void while we're not there and hit us up later and shit like that. That's happened. Like
we're all on phone number basis at this point. All of the moderators and yeah. It's easy to get a hold.
It's very tight knit.
You know exactly who to talk to when you come into the rec room. It is a small community of people. It's not just something like
it's
Kevin
bigger
said.
than my small town, but
but like
crazy.
Kevin said, it's we pretty much know everybody in here. I might not know everybody in here. Kevin,
I like weird autism or whatever, but I know a little bit about everybody.
Yeah, so
I can say with 100% confidence, if you're in the rec room and you're playing games at least 2 times a week, 3 times a week, the likelihood is you'll have been in at least one game with one of us. Mm-hmm. That's just a fact of the matter. But yeah, so
and jokes are jokes. I'm sorry if I didn't want to offend anybody with that.
No, you're fine. But no, yeah. So Ven, to answer your question, like literally any of the dadmins, and or Kevin
Sherpas, himself. Yeah, Sherpa, Daddy, the server boosters, anything above a planeswalker.
Even some
of the planeswalkers, you know.
That's what I mean.
Some of the planeswalkers are really like the reason why they're that is because I trust them to walk the plains and bring back other visitors. They can invite people.
These are our recruiters. Okay,
giving them the spark.
Okay, there we go. Above spell slinger.
But yeah, so
any one of those guys will get to one of us.
That's pretty much.
And we'll all get to Kevin.
Yeah, that's
It's just, and like I'm not like a dictator or anything. I have a big group of people that I consult with. Like it's like a very.
Nothing happens by one person's hand.
No.
Nothing.
It's I don't just kick people to whatever, kick them out. Like I try to be as patient as I can with anybody and everybody, but like it's
not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. But it's I lost my train of thought there. Derailed. But I just wanted to know like a little bit of the psychology of
so
it.
I think yeah. So why
they wanted to, like, if were the points that meaningful or whatever that they had to win? Were they intimidated by us, like to where they felt like they had to do something to get an advantage because they were scared of us? Or
I think losing here and just getting the recognition that you're getting, and then losing to what you guys are calling a small group. My group is just big enough for me, brother.
Right.
But losing to us, not knowing who we are, not knowing if we're gonna be like, hey, I just whooped that new Chaos tournaments, whooped his deck, and he's not that good. Or maybe it's something like that. Maybe
it's Magic the Gathering.
I get it.
Some of the worst things.
I mean, but how much money do you walk away from one of those tournaments with, though, right?
Well, that's like a whole nother story. That's why I'm saying, like, comparing the freaking prize pig to our little runt or whatever. But like,
the prize is a prize at the end of the day.
The prize is a prize at the end of the day, and what you ego, I've got to remain at the top because I got to the top.
Got a rep,
and it's Magic the Gathering. You can have you can have bad games even if you're a great player. It happens all the time.
100%.
Like you're only projected projected to win 25% of your games in Commander anyway. Like
with a great deck.
And like, so if you're you can't take a single loss. Like, you've got to find a way to do.
There's something
else going on.
There's other things going on, and that may be the case as well, man. And that I think I seen something on a post that might be something that was going on. And good, okay, I understand. Sorry that's happening to you, but again, like I said earlier, we're all dads. We all live these hard lives, man. We're all trying to do the best we can for everything we got. And I mean, it doesn't change the fact that we still want to get on here and have fun with some good sports. You know, it's good sport. You got to be a good sport about things. You got to take your licks when you lose. You know, it just none of the winning none of the record keeping or anything like that. I don't think any of it matters outside of the money. You know, I don't keep a tally of. I tried to start on a couple decks that I made to keep it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, dude. It doesn't really matter as long as I'm getting good games in and I'm laughing and we're having a good time.
100%.
The whole point is have a good time.
That's when you take that from me, is when it gets.
So like, I also wanted to say, like, there has been occasions where someone, after they got kicked, like, got back to me months later and let me know, like, how they learned from that experience and they've matured and they really, 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 really were persistent about wanting another chance. And I said, like, that was a thing that I said, F it too. I'm going to let him back in, redeem himself, see how it goes. And he's been a great, he learned his lesson and matured and, like, just realized what he was missing out on by making that one mistake to try to take advantage in one point, how much he lost for what little action he did. Like, and I am a forgiving person. Like, if said person does reach out to me and let me know what's up, over time I might give them a chance to come back, like, because they are a good player. They understand the game well. Like,
they understand the game mechanically amazingly.
Yeah,
It's gorgeous.
And
even Board State,
Yeah.
you know, even Board State was immaculate. Like, dude's a good. I mean, he could be.
he's great.
Guy.
He's a good player. He didn't need to take that advantage. He just
Exactly.
needed to know that, like, okay, we can shuffle up and play again. Like, if that's
play a good one, you know,
get
a bunch of good games right
an
now.
honest one, a good one, an honest one. And it's like, when you have, I don't care if I lose, but, like, especially if I don't care if I lose and it was a 30 spell stack and, like,
those are my favorite.
It's so complicated and everybody's, like, trying to, like, run around like chickens with their head cut off, and, like, I'm wowed by the way that, like, they got there. Like, I'm okay with taking the L, especially okay with taking a good L. And
seeing a cool line, you know.
Like, everybody needs to just beat that into themselves. It's okay to lose. We're having a good time.
You brought up a really good point, Kevin, and it's something that we should reiterate before we end this here. Is, like, if you do get banned for doing something like this, it isn't a hard doors are closed forever kind of thing. We just want you to understand what you did was wrong. Learn from the experience. Take some time to fix yourself as a person. And we're not going to ever just completely shut you out from the community. There are ways to
at the WreckRoom. At the WreckRoom. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't try to make it seem so easy either, dude.
No, like, you're not gonna be able to just walk back in either. Like, you do have to legitimately show you have changed or you're trying to change, and show proof of steps being done. But I just want it to be known that doors are never fully closed forever. But that doesn't mean you can just walk all over us. Don't think you can take advantage of us and 6 months from now walk back in and do it all over again.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna forget.
Mm-mm.
I mean, how long were their eyes on that person, though, Kevin? After they got back in here, there had to have been eyes. It might be uncomfortable, and it might be. It was.
It honestly was.
And we'll make it that way.
They did that. They worked into it and showed us, like, I'm gonna go through the trenches and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna, like,
the thing about this
find a way to, like, really get back into it. Like, not necessarily everybody need to turn it into a joke, but like, you know, like they brought up like somebody was about to do the thing that he did to get banned initially. Just a very, very spiteful play on purpose, and he was like, he gave them a warning, like, don't
pull this.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, but like the thing again, the thing of the rec room, why it's different from every other Discord is because everybody in here wants to be in here. You don't just join here because it's a big name that you know, and because there's a million people in the Discord server. We all want to be here. So if you don't want to be here, that's fine. You don't have to come. You don't have to want to come back. And whenever anybody can come and go as they please. You know, if you got to want to be here to be here, and if you want to be here,
yeah, this ain't no like prison gang. You ain't in here for life. You can leave anytime you want.
Yeah, you don't have to live in a box either.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
No. It's not like we're not patron whores. You know?
We're not the mob.
Yeah.
No, we're ride or die for each other, but we don't give a fuck about, like, dude, you want to take some time off and leave the server or go do your own thing? Fuck, go, by all means, go do it.
No one's gonna be mad. No one's gonna be mad, but don't bring the bullshit. Don't bring it.
I think
no bullshit tinks.
I think this was a pretty productive conversation. Ben, what do you think?
I think that we all collectively address the main things I've been seeing on social media. I thought it's really important that we all are on the same page as again, with someone with no skin in the game, just looking at it from an outside perspective. I think it's very important that we were all on the same page here. So, good conversation.
Very good. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks
for helping us out.
Anytime.
And I'd love to teach you more about Magic. Games, hang out.
I'm ready to learn.
All right, boys. Well, that was Table Talk. Hopefully that answered all your guys' questions. We'll catch you later. Deuces.